sucks. I want to cover up this little white spot right here on the front of it.
Mm.
But if I do this, I don't want paint four stick to be in the forefront.
Yeah. All right, so you guys, thank you so much for stretching on over here. Maybe clobbering.
Clobbering on over here. Thank you for fantastic on over here.
Thank you for flaming on over here. For invisibling on over here.
Yeah, I don't know what the verb would be for that.
Pedro Pascal, Joseph Quinn,
And
Ebon
Moss.
I was about to say Ebon Musk. Ebon
Moss Backrack. Let me just make sure.
Buckrack. Oh Lord, we have 50 minutes.
We got this. Don't you worry.
Don't you worry, baby.
This song. Ebon Moss Backrack.
Don't you worry.
You're making your own song over there.
Hey guys, thank you so much for stretching on over here to the Awesome Padron Show. We just, well, not just, we actually saw this about, what?
Like a week or two ago, I
Yeah, a
think.
week or two ago, yeah. We just saw, a week or two ago, the new Fantastic Four First Steps. And I've honestly been looking forward to this ever since the trailer dropped. I know not a lot of people, but a decent amount of people didn't like the look and feel of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I really liked how otherworldly it looked.
Yeah.
You know, like it looked like it was in the past, but like also in the future at the same time.
Yeah, sort of like a Jetsons kind of feel, like
Yeah.
retro, futuristic type of world.
Yeah, I felt like this was a really good place for like that middle ground of finding something that felt a lot like the comic book, but also not too much like the comic book, if that makes sense. I'm not saying that I feel like this should be all that they have throughout the entire MCU, because obviously they're going to join up, at some point, so.
Right, go to their main timeline.
Yeah, exactly. But I was looking forward to it. And I will say, I really do like Pedro Pascal a lot. But, looking at whenever he was casted and looking at him in the trailer, I never thought he was a bad choice.
Mm-hmm.
He was just never my first choice.
Right, yeah. It was kind of out of left field casting choice.
Yeah.
Even though I do really like him, and he's a great actor.
Yeah. And so it kind of just seemed like, at first I kind of thought it was more like a popularity casting, almost, like we need to get him in here somehow, which I agree with, but I always thought that was kind of weird. But after watching this movie, I will say I really did like Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. I felt like he played off this seriousness and straightness, while also you can tell that he's stressed.
Right,
The entire movie.
Yeah, he kind of has the weight of the world on his shoulders,
Yeah.
and he feels like if he makes any kind of mistake, then it's all going to be on him for that mistake. So he feels like so much pressure to get everything right and be able to protect everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And so I feel like he was great. And honestly, I'm really looking forward to seeing him more because, weirdly enough, this might be a stretch because he's done really good.
Stretch. Say that again.
Say that again?
But he did fantastic. Should I say. But no, I do feel like this is one of my favorite portrayals or roles that he's done, just because how I felt like his acting was really good. And you almost kind of forget you're watching Pedro Pascal. You don't do that a lot when you're watching Pedro Pascal on something. But there's just something about it that he really got into the character that I liked a lot.
Right, yeah, because even though he is, I don't want to say like stoic, but he has kind of that stoicism in this movie, which a lot of his characters have. But this has just a different kind of flavor to it.
Yeah.
He really does feel like the smartest man alive.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the other characters aren't that.
Yeah.
That he's played. So he does bring something different to the table with his character that I really feel like he really embodied. And like you said, you kind of start to forget that you're watching Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to talk too much about Pedro Pascal for a long time, but so I want to kind of go to the other characters. But like Vanessa Kirby, I don't know if I've seen her in a lot. I know I saw her in like Mission Impossible, I think.
Yeah, some of the newer ones.
Yeah, and
she was in Hobbs and Shaw, but I never saw that.
Yeah.
I saw her in the trailers, but I never saw the movie.
Yeah.
She was also in I think it's called Pieces of a Woman. She was nominated for Best Actress for that movie.
Yeah. I feel like she was great too. And honestly, Sue Storm, and not like we've had a lot of great opportunities to show off Sue Storm, but they made her character pretty interesting and felt very, this sounds weird because it's Fantastic Four, so like all of them are integral, but like she really did feel like integral to the story.
Right.
She was integral to the story.
Yeah, she was kind of the glue that holds everybody together.
Yeah.
She was like the she's kind of the heart of the team, pretty much. She and to the public, she was able to bring together the public as well as the team.
Yeah, exactly. And then whenever we get to like Joseph Quinn and Ebon Moss, what was it?
Bachrach.
Ebon Moss Bachrach. I felt like their performances were also great. You have Johnny, who really is this kind of immature character, but also he's also very intelligent.
Yeah, and I love that they actually showed that side of him in this movie.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen that in any of the other portrayals.
Yeah.
He's always been just the immature kind of guy.
Yeah.
But this one really shows why he was with them when they went on the expedition, when they got their powers. Is because he's actually smart.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not just Sue's brother.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just nepotism there.
Yeah. And it's also like just the weird thing of like, we just brought him over because he's my brother. He wanted to be on the wall. Well, that's not very safe. Why would you do that? Yeah.
Right, exactly.
So they actually do show his intelligence in here. And of course, you have Ben Grimm, who I think that Yvonne did really good as him. And it was weird because in the trailer, I wasn't a huge fan that they just straight up used his voice.
Right.
Yeah. But there was just something about watching the movie that through it kind of slowly starts kind of just becoming the Thing's voice, and you don't really pay any mind to the fact that it's just a normal voice.
Right.
For me, anyways.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, especially because like there is like a slight gravelness to his voice, very, very slightly. It's not nearly as much as like Ben Chiklis, but who I loved his performance as well. But there's like a normalness to his voice that reminds you that he is actually a normal guy underneath all the rock that he's made of, which I think I really liked watching it.
Yeah, I do too. Bringing it all together, all the characters really did feel like a family. And that's one of my favorite parts about this. A lot of people I've seen find this movie kind of boring and things like that. But ultimately, I think what I really liked about it was they really did push that family aspect part. Because I don't know how accurate this is, but I know people see them as like the first comic book family or something like that.
Well, I think they were like the first like characters that were in Marvel. I mean, I think there was other characters before Marvel was called Marvel, but I think once they rebranded as Marvel, they were the first characters. I mean, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's the history, the background behind it.
Yeah, and so I feel like their family dynamic worked really well, and I also really liked how Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm really felt like brothers. Brothers who kind of mess with each other, kind of really get irritate each other, but truly love each other and really care for each other.
Right.
And it's funny because you and me were just watching that one scene.
Say that again.
The say that again scene.
From Fantastic.
Yeah, and it never hit me until just now, until you brought it up. But you said that, who was it, 3C Films had brought up how, like, they never really argue throughout the whole movie, and then all of a sudden at the end, he's like, "How about the something or another?" And the
thing that nobody wanted.
The thing that nobody wanted.
You know what I hate about that scene? In that same scene, we get something that the movie just didn't have room for, so they just threw it in last minute, and that's Johnny being mean to Ben.
How about two guys, a girl, and the thing that nobody wanted?
Hey, we both know that you could take him.
The entirety of the movie, those two don't have a relationship. They're not chummy with each other. all that Johnny knows is that this poor guy ended up getting the worst power. I'm just gonna randomly be mean to him just because it's a thing in the comics, but it's not set up in this. Oh, dude, so horrible.
And even like saying in a playful manner, he's like the thing that nobody wanted.
He's like so
Yeah.
serious when he
Yeah,
said it.
Fan Forest.
It's some mean spirit.
Yeah,
Just all of
yeah.
a sudden, especially since they had like bantered
Yeah.
throughout the movie.
Yeah,
It's like the first time they threw that in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and then, you know, and the other Fantastic Four from the early 2000s, they did it pretty decently, I feel like, too. But I felt like there was just something special about this one where I fully felt like they really cared and loved each other, you know? And so, and the full family aspect just worked really well for me.
Yeah, and like you said, like some people might find this movie to be kind of slow, maybe even boring. But I like you said, like the family aspect and just the conversations that they had between each other, especially once the story starts getting going, and they're having to make this like deal with this situation and this choice. I really just love the conversations between all the characters and all
Yeah.
that, and them trying to figure this out.
Going past that, even, I really did like the story that I was pushing through. I really liked how this movie brings up a choice that Fantastic Four makes that is very morally, like, I won't, maybe morally ambiguous. I don't know what you want to say about it, but it's very much so. There's like a selfish choice, and then like a unselfish choice that's better for everyone, you know. And I really do like how they didn't really, you know, for at least a moment, they didn't really dabble around in trying to make the choice they wanted be something that like they can mix in with, you know, like for instance, in Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Quantumania.
yeah, well, no, just Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. They had that part whenever they could either save that girl or save Michael Douglas's wife,
Yeah,
or
Michelle Pfeiffer.
from that world, and it was like a really big thing throughout the entire movie. Like you can only do one or the other. You know, you can only save her or save Michelle Pfeiffer, and at the end of the movie, they save both.
Yeah.
You know. So
she just like touches her. I haven't seen the movie in a while, but I think she like touches her and magically like cures or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So it gets to that point where they don't have that easy choice, and I really do like how they didn't do a full cop out on that. You know, I mean, eventually they kind of make things better with it, but they don't really make a full cop out of it.
Right.
And I do also want to say that Ralph Ineson as Galactus was a perfect choice, and it's not really that surprising whenever like you hear the guy talk.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, just normally talking.
Yeah.
Like with no effects added to his voice.
Yeah. It's not that
Just
surprising.
watching in interviews.
Yeah.
The actual job on the day is putting on this absolutely enormous suit and being shot like a miniature, so flooded with loads of white light, so that image can be blown up and the focus is maintained. That's how you shoot a miniature, which is great, but obviously for the actor, it's like working in a huge rubber suit in a sauna, but you're not allowed to sweat. So I have a whole like pit crew around me. I'm like a Formula One car with people taking off bits of my costume in between takes so I can keep my body temperature down, and then putting it back on for the next take, and people shoving air conditioning units up the back of my armour to keep my body temperature down. So it's a really strange sight. There's kind of 8 people buzzing around me, like I say, like a Formula One pit crew.
Yeah, he's a perfect choice. It's also pretty great that he's just not like a cloud of smoke going over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good bonus.
Yeah.
Good plus.
Yeah, because I feel like the reason why they did that is because if you look at Galactus, there's something that a lot of people who make comic book movies have a problem with, is that's trying to steer away from making things look kind of silly. And I think to some extent, yeah, you can do that. Like you wouldn't want to make Electro look like he does in the comics, you know, like that would be kind of ridiculous. But but there are some things that are silly, but if you put some effort into their look, you can make them look otherworldly, which that's what Galactus is. And I feel like they really did that well with his look. Like he still looks like Galactus that we know from the comics, but he doesn't look silly. Like he actually looked like pretty terrifying.
Yeah,
like,
he really did.
Yeah.
And I just love, because the second time I saw this movie, I saw it in IMAX. I saw it 4 times, which I had to make it 4 times, but I did see it with somebody new each time.
Was it each time? Was it fantastic all 4 times?
Yeah, entirely fantastic. No, but the second time I saw it in IMAX, and even in Dolby, which I saw in the first time, but in IMAX, seeing Galactus, especially that first scene that he's in, was just amazing. Just like. It's one of the coolest things to watch in IMAX.
Yeah.
Now, I usually don't watch movies in IMAX, but I definitely had to see that.
Yeah. And overall, I want to say that this to me is like one of the, I don't know what the right word is, but I may be ambitious. I don't know, but like one of my, like, goodness, I don't know what to say, risky Marvel movies. Just the way that it looks, I feel like is not something I would have ever expected out of Marvel. I guess I can say is a better way to say it. Because, Marvel's really always looking for, like, what's the cooler look of it? How can you make this look big and in your face, and how can you make it look like a blockbuster and all this stuff, And I really do love just how this movie looks.
Right.
I love the cinematography of it. I love, honestly, the coloring was pretty good of it. And like I said, I just really love how they're able to kind of do that Jetsons look, where it's like kind of somewhat looks like it's in the past, but it also looks like it's in the future as well.
Right.
And it just makes it look very much otherworldly, or it's in another universe, a multi-universal, So that I really do like a lot.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes back to Matt Shakman. I think that's how you pronounce his name. The director of this movie, because he's also the guy who was a showrunner for WandaVision, which also was another movie or another Marvel project.
Yeah.
That felt a lot different than their movies. I mean, until the very last episode. I feel like the overlords at Marvel and Disney stepped in.
I feel like they had to have.
Because it went completely into that safer route that Marvel is known for, the CGI battles. But the first 8 episodes just felt so different from the regular Marvel stuff, and I feel like he brought that same energy to this movie.
Yeah.
Which also, Matt Shakman is also the director for a lot of the most iconic It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's directed a lot of the episodes and a lot of the most famous and iconic ones.
Did he do Charlie work?
He might have. I'll have to look, but
That's crazy.
Whenever he was announced that he was going to be the director for this movie, 1, I was excited because he did WandaVision, and 2, if he was able to make the characters in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia feel like somewhat of a family, then I was excited for him to be able to work with an actual loving family.
Yeah, exactly.
And he definitely did really good with it. Yeah, he directed Charlie Work.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And one of the biggest praises I really feel like I can give this movie is one thing I was really concerned about is from the trailers you could tell that there's time jumps. I think it's from the trailers, some pictures and stuff like that. You can tell there's some time jumps, and there are, and they're not massive or anything like that, but there are some time jumps, because because of what they're trying to do. The movie takes a while, so the movie, even though it's jumping around in the future pretty far in advance, it never really feels like it's too fast of a pace. It never feels badly paced. It never feels like that jolting feel whenever you watch a movie that's going a long time in the future, and then it's just feels like it's hopping around. It really just, to me anyways, and some people might feel different, but to me it just feels like it's a fastly paced movie, because that's what it is, and it merely makes you feel the urgency of the situation that they're in, that they really have to go, otherwise they're not going to get anything sorted out. And that's really the feeling that it gives you, is that sense of urgency and that sense of anxiety.
Yeah, and also to go along with that, another thing that they did in this movie was they kind of showed news reports and all that around the world. Yeah. That I don't think we've ever really seen in Marvel movies, or at least not recently. So it really did make it feel like a global event that was happening. Yeah. It made it feel more lived in and more like an actual world. Yeah. And it's something that was actually happening worldwide. Mm-hmm. It felt made the situation feel bigger. Well, I mean, it was already big, obviously. The world was being threatened, but it made it feel like it, at least.
Yeah, and one other thing that we haven't even brought up yet is Julia Garner.
Oh, yeah,
as Silver Surfer, one of the most controversial decisions in this entire movie. Oh, probably the most controversial decision in this entire movie, because they went with what's her ball?
Shala Ball.
Shala Ball. They went with her, and instead of
Norrin Radd.
Yeah, they went with her instead of him. And a lot of people were really upset about that because, she's not the one that's known as Silver Surfer, but she is a Silver Surfer in the comics, so.
At least for a little bit.
Yeah, at least for a little bit. So, but in the trailer, I was pretty sure she was going to do good, but obviously don't get a lot of her in the trailer. But she does really good in the movie. She does really good. She really plays off that, like, I don't want to do any of this, but, like, I have to.
Right, exactly.
Like, you can tell she's...
Even whenever she comes down and first comes to Earth, she even, like, says, like, hug your loved ones and say what you want. Never felt like saying whatever. I can't remember all she said, but it wasn't just like, oh, you're all about to die.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you could tell she really cared about this, but she didn't show it off because she's been doing it all this time, so she's somewhat numb to it, but also understands that what she's doing right now is horrible. It's awful,
right? And
what she's been doing has been awful.
Yeah, and also just to go back to the controversial gender swap that they did for her character, I think the one plus that it added to the movie was it actually gave Johnny something to do.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because like throughout pretty much the entirety of this movie, Johnny isn't around the public that much.
Yeah.
They showed a little bit in the montage at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the movie, he's mostly just around the family.
Yeah.
The rest of the four. So it at least gives him somebody, because like Johnny has always been like this womanizer.
Yeah.
Guy who flirts with women and all that. So it at least gave him an opportunity to show that part of his character and be able to form not a relationship but form a connection with the Silver Surfer,
and using that he actually helps out the team a lot from that flirtiness that he does. That actually did help a lot,
and it also connected back to Sue's story. I mean, not to go into too much spoilers right now at least, but it at least made a little parallel to that too, and a strong connection between those two characters.
We are going to say that Fantastic Four First Steps is 85% awesome.
And also, one scene I do really love. It's kind of spoilers, but now that I think about it, they did release. Marvel did release a scene like the week before the movie came out, which I don't know why they did, but it is slight spoilers. But whenever they first come back towards the middle of the movie, when they come back from space, which first of all, that space sequence was amazing. We haven't brought that up yet, but that whole whenever Silver Surfer is chasing them, that whole just action sequence is probably one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. But whenever they finally get back to Earth and they retells the public that Galactus had asked for their son and they said no, and some people have complained about that, like, why is the smartest man in the world saying that to the public? He should have known. But like, I think it kind of adds to his character to where, like, he's the smartest man alive when it comes to science. But he doesn't fully understand people. He has, like, social awkwardness and not really knowing, like, how to connect to people. Even though he's the smartest man alive when it comes to science.
He's also very matter of fact.
Exactly.
So, like, he's like, this is it. This is what happened.
Right.
So... Well, guys, thank you. Oh, what did I say? Okay. Well, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, comment and let us know what you felt about Fantastic Four First Steps.
And don't forget to follow us on social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all at The Awesome Padrone Show.
And as always, thank you so much for watching, and you will see us later.